you. Anyways, welcome one, welcome all. Let me get the mod account up so I can ban bots.
Hi, everybody.
Alright, the mod account's being fucky. Give me another couple. There we go.
It's not a Corvus stream without technical difficulty.
Yeah, but this actually isn't on my end. This is on Twitch's end.
Ah,
And
still falls under the category of technical difficulties.
yeah, I just need 1 second to check audio. Well, let me rephrase that. I need about 40 seconds to check my audio. Because there is a delay. Alright, mic check 1, 2, 3.
Hello? Sorry, what?
Alright, we
Did I
good.
screw up?
No, we're good. No, I was just making sure everything was coming through on the audio. So would you like to tell the people at home what we're talking about today?
Oh, I already forgot.
Damn it, Tank, you had one job.
I'm sorry. We talked about it, and then we went on like another 5-minute thing.
No, we're talking about magic.
The collaboration of Magic the Gathering and Warhammer 40K.
Yeah. Which I hope we get another one.
Is that what we're talking about?
No, we were talking about app humans.
Abhuman.
Oh, 1 second. I just realized that whenever I moved us, I accidentally fucked up the PNGs. Give me 1 minute. Tank, do me a favor. Disconnect, reconnect real quick.
Yeah.
There we go. We are no longer stuck in the warp.
Do I still need to disconnect and reconnect?
No, you're good.
Did you do it for me?
I don't think I disconnected you. I think it just fixed itself when I did it.
Oh, well, okay then. That was your fault, not mine.
Exactly. No, Fujitech does this weird thing where if you get moved or you move channels, it just sends your PNG to the void. I don't know why. It just does that.
Unfun.
Alright, I'm going to read off a list. I want you to pick one. So we have the April Strain, the Beastmen, the Gland Warriors, the Goliaths, the Navigators, Nightsiders, Ogrins, Ratlings, Scalies, Slave Levies, Squats, Amphi, Dremphans, Felinids, Katara, Lazul, Longsharks, Nandors, Pelagers, we got Stilt Limbs, Thrix, Thrugrock Goliaths, Warriors of Thorok, and Throffs, and Deepers.
The Rattlings or the Shark one?
We gotta pick one. I can't do both simultaneously.
Okay, we'll do Rattlings first.
Alright, we'll do Ratlings. So, you know how Warhammer 40k is basically just sci-fi fantasy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you know how D&D has halflings?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so Warhammer has ratlings.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So ratling, well, they're closer to hobbits than they are halflings, but then again, a halfling is just a legally distinct hobbit. But anyways,
So wait. Rattlings are not anthropomorphic mice people.
no, they're not.
Oh, that's lame.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So the ratlings are, I think they're the smallest abhuman.
Also, that makes their name very, very rude, because they're not a rat. They're just small.
Mhm. Anyways, so ratlings are small, very squat strain of humans. Their official name is Homo sapiens minimus.
I shouldn't laugh so hard at that, but that was funny.
Yeah. What was it? You know how I mentioned the space dwarves used to be called squats?
Yeah.
Theirs was like something like Homo sapien rotundus, I think. Yeah.
Even their scientific terms are xenophobic.
Let's be xenophobic. It's really in this year. Let's. Oh fuck! How's that song go? Let's find some. Son of a bitch.
I do not know what song you're referring to, so I am not going to be of assistance.
Song. Give me 1 second.
Oh, gotta find the racism song.
Mm-hmm.
On the Curious Corvus channel, we do not condone
No, we do not
xenophobia
condone
of
racism or
any kind.
xenophobia. If you look at the rules for my chat, it says no isms. So
Oh, wait, I need to leave them. I have slight
well, that's the exception.
autism. Sorry, bad joke.
Anyways,
Real problem.
alright. Let's be xenophobic. It's really in this year. Let's find a nasty, slimy, ugly alien to fear. There's no more cutesy stories about E.T. phoning home. Let's learn to love our neighbors like the Christians learned in Rome. We know we oughta hate 'em. They're different, you see. We've seen their mean and ugly on movies and TV. The folks that oughta know have told us how it's got to be. The gospel truth is found in scenes from Alien and V. So let's wipe out any life form that seems to be a threat. We'll serve 'em up a genocide they never will forget. 'Cause if we miss a couple, they'll breed a couple more. And soon we'll all be hating twice as many as before. So you see aliens can never be as good as humankind. A more delightful race than us you'll never ever find. So step aside, you star slime, we're ready for your worst. We know you wanna beat us, enslave us and defeat us. Oppress us and browbeat us, unless we get you first.
I mean, the amount of like truth I heard in that little ditty.
My favorite part of that entire thing is like the Christians learned in Rome, but
Yep. Same.
oh man, let's see, what was that?
Oh
That was
god.
1986. Centaur publication. The song is by Bill Sutton. Please do not copyright strike me. You can if you want to,
That,
but just please don't. I don't make a lot of money off this anyways.
if any.
It's really not worth the 8 cents. um, but yeah. The first time I ever heard that song was over a fucking Warhammer 40k edit. Oh man,
Oh
anyways.
god, like the Christians learned in Rome.
Yeah.
That is just genius writing right there.
God, I hope nobody takes any of that out of context.
What context is there besides historic research? What did the Christians learn in Rome?
No, just like somebody clipping me saying, let's be xenophobic.
In sing-song form.
I don't
don't
think I
know.
said
I
it
feel
in
like,
sing-song form the first time. That's the
oh,
problem.
it's true.
So I was trying to remember the lyrics. Anyways, this video is not getting put on YouTube, is it?
All right,
Where was I? Back to the ratlings.
Ratlings.
So yeah, they're really small, squat humans with furry feet. They came from a planet. I think this evolutionary offshoot happened because they were on a world of grassy plains with no natural predators and an overabundance of food. So they just kind of became very homely, I guess. And then the Greater Imperium came knocking, and then they were brought. then they were sent to war.
No. It's like, yeah, these little guys will do great for stealth missions.
Yeah. Well, notably, they are actually some of the best snipers in the Imperium.
Yeah, I could see that.
Um,
Like,
they
you give them a gun big enough and a you know a bipod that could handle the weight of the gun, because they certainly can't.
yeah. Well, it's kind of the problem is that because of their size, you can't really give them a lot of really great weapons because they're too heavy. I have a phone call. I'll be right back.
I feel you.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
What was it? So yeah, they really can't get anything much bigger than some bolters, or some not even some bolters like las rifles and such. Um, yeah, all they can handle is a bolter. You know, the thing that normal sized humans also can't really handle. Well, I mean, there's bolt pistols. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. Um,
Great snipers.
yeah. They're also amazing cooks.
Well, I mean, if you're not fearing for your life from a predator, be good at cooking the things around you, right?
Yeah. Another issue that the Imperium has with ratlings is the fact that even though a ratling is like less than half the size of your standard Imperium soldier, they eat like 3 times as much as your normal Imperium soldier.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Um, they also tend to be a little kleptomaniac-ish.
So they can't help but just grab
Yeah,
something.
sometimes they just nick shit. So yeah.
Not cool, dudes. Not cool.
Cool. Well, I mean, when you eat that much, you kind of got to steal an extra can of corpse starch here and there.
Corpse starch.
Good
I
old
remember we
corpse
talked
starch.
about that one.
Even in death, you will serve.
That reminds me of the corpse starch thing. I think I mentioned it when we talked about it, but there's a movie called like The Green Pill or something like that.
Soylent
And
Green.
do what?
Is it Soylent Green?
Yeah, that.
Yeah, it's a classic.
That'll never happen. Mm-hmm. Sure.
It's people. I remember I had to watch that movie in a class once.
I've never seen it. I just know about it and got spoiled on it. So
Take a film class. You'll watch a lot of movies. You'll write a lot of.
that tracks.
You'll write about a lot of movies too. But... So yeah, there you go. There are your ratlings, the Imperium's funny little guys.
All right. I think the second one I said was the shark people.
Yeah. I do want to say one thing because we've covered them before, but I didn't mention them. The squats, aka the space dwarves, were a subspecies of human that was wiped out by the Tyranids and would later go on to become the Leagues of Votan. Um, so we're not really going to cover that any further. Anyways, which one did you ask for?
Shark people.
Shark people?
I don't know, I think it was like 2/3 of the way down the list that you said.
Longshanks?
You said something shark, I thought.
I might have misspoke.
You know, it's just the Orgrim. Did I say
Ogren?
that right?
Ogren?
Ogren. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll just do that one.
Everybody knows the Ogren. Everybody loves the Ogren. Homo sapiens gigantus.
Ah, so I'm hitting two sides of the barrel right now.
hmm Anyways. So, everybody knows the Ogren. They're the really big, really strong, really dumb Imperial, basically bodyguards a lot of the time. They're the muscle. Uh, they do what they do and they do it good. They evolved on a high gravity prison planet, which caused them to basically have stronger muscle and bone mass, and also made them get taller, which seems counterproductive. Such as me.
No, that doesn't seem like that would work that way.
Anyways. They are huge. They tend to, on the smarter end of Ogren, they've got about the intelligence of, I don't know, like a 6-year-old. They're a little dim-witted. But they got hearts of gold.
They just want a hug.
Yeah, they're just good
Just
guys.
don't let them hug you very hard, or your bones will get turned to dust.
Yeah. They tend to be shock troops. Or, commissars really love Ogrins. Because your normal soldier, they tend to get a little pissy, you know. Ammo starts running out. Food gets a little low. We watched Jimmy get fucking deatomized the other day, while screaming for his mother. Morale morale isn't very great right now, and sometimes regular Imperial soldiers will turn traitor in mass, and the commissar can't deal with that. The Ogren, however, is very, very happy with his gold star sticker. Um, this is,
Oh fuck.
this is the one story. If I could, I don't think this is canon, but I remember hearing like somebody talk about a story where it's like, yeah, a commissar had like two Ogrins that were on either side of him, like at all times, and a couple of the soldiers were getting ready to turn traitor. And the commissar is like, whichever one of you rips his arms and legs off first gets an extra can of corpse starch tonight.
Oh.
And the Ogrins were wrestling over it. I don't know how canonical that is. I don't know if that comes from a book. I just remember I was talking to somebody and they told me that story. That might just be fan fiction, but I choose to believe.
It honestly, from the does not seem far fetched.
Yeah. Um, the Ogrins also, due to their size and strength, well, due to their size, they tend to be a little claustrophobic.
Understandably so.
Yeah. Um, but due to their strength, they tend to be given what's called a Ripper gun, which is a giant automatic shotgun, and they tend to be burst fire because Ogrins will once they figure out they have full auto, will just hold down on the trigger and just burn through all their ammo in the first like 10 seconds. Just turn one guy into absolute fucking paste. Um, let's see, what else do I know about Ogrins? Oh, so you know how I said a lot of them, like on the high end, they tend to be like the intelligence of a 6-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a treatment called the biochemical Ogrin neural enhancement, aka Bonehead, which they put a bunch of implants into an Ogrin's head, and it increases their intelligence a little. So they're a little bit,
A little.
yeah, so they're a little bit smarter than the average Ogrin.
So they can do their multiplication tables
Okay,
now.
now you're giving them too much credit.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry.
They can count to 10.
I can only count to four. I can only count to four.
Yeah. So, you know, Dark Tide.
Yes.
Have you ever seen
So
the I know we've played it before, but have you ever seen the animation on the when you're loading into the mission, where the Ogren's like counting on his fingers and he gets to 3 and he starts over?
no, I have
And say that
not.
one. I I have to wonder. Is it that the Ogren can count to 3 and he doesn't know what the next number is, or is it that he doesn't know what comes after 2, so he's trying to figure out what that is? But anyways, no, we love Ogrins. Let's see. I think they're also the most abhumans are not particularly loved by the Imperium. Cause like, yeah, they are human, but they're not human humans. They're different. And you know, there is the whole, you know, how does it go? Kill the witch, burn the heretic, purge the unclean, and kill the mutant. Is kind of like the Inquisition's entire thing.
They sound very, very welcoming.
I mean, it's the Imperium, man. What the fuck are you expecting? the the Imperium let me throw an entire planet's population into the meat grinder to win a single battle of mankind. But yeah,
For the glory of the Imperium of Man, apparently.
for the no for the glory of the God Emperor.
For the glory of the God Emperor. Excuse me.
Yep.
Sorry. Commissar, I misspoke.
Shoot this man. Anyways, trying to think. There was something else I wanted to. Oh, so like, abhumans aren't loved, but Ogrins are the most numerous and most widely dispersed of the abhumans. Because, like I said, commissars love them. They're really good shock troopers. Like, send 100 Ogrins into an enemy trench line, and yeah, a lot of those Ogrins probably won't make it to that trench. But everybody after those Ogrins is probably making it to the trench. You know,
You can't argue with results at that point.
yeah. If the enemy has to use like 2 mags to kill an Ogren,
That's two mags that aren't going after the regular guys.
yeah, that's 2 mags of what one shot would kill a normal person. Oh, here's a fun story. So during Ogrins aren't very bright. We've gone over this.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Ogrins have this mentality of, all right, I am here to serve the God Emperor. And the God Emperor told the like really important people on Terra that we need to take this planet, and then those important people told the next line of people that we need to take this planet, and then those people told the Inquisitor that we need to take this planet, and the Inquisitor told my Commissar that I have to take this planet, and my Commissar told me that I have to march into that enemy trench line to take this planet. So therefore, the God Emperor himself told me to take this planet.
I mean, I get it. I don't agree with it, but I get it.
So they tend to take orders as like as if the Emperor himself told them to do things.
Like they're best friends with the Emperor.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So there was also during the heresy. Here's another fun thing. I think all Ogrins are pretty fucking loyal to the Emperor. So the way that in the Horus Heresy they got a bunch of Ogrins to join the heresy was basically the Commissar saying, "No, no, no. Those guys aren't with the Emperor. We're with the Emperor."
Oh God.
And you know what? The Commissar told me that those guys are the bad guys, and the Emperor basically told that guy that those are the enemies. So therefore, the Emperor basically told me that those guys are the liars and the enemies. So I guess they have to die now.
Oh, all right, time to start shooting.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, there's also I don't know anything about these. There's a bunch of different classifications of Ogren, and the term gray Ogren gets passed around sometimes. I have no fucking clue what a gray Ogren is. I have never read about a gray Ogren in the books. I have never heard anybody say anything about a gray Ogren. I have never seen a model for a gray Ogren. The first time I had ever heard reference to a gray Ogren is in Darktide. There is dialogue between, I think, the soldier class and the Ogren class, where the Ogren will say something, and the soldier will tell him to knock it off. There's no such thing as gray Ogrens, so just stop thinking about it. I
If they aren't real, they can't hurt you.
Yeah, and I scoured like the fucking Reddit and everything trying to figure out what the fuck a gray Ogren was. No fucking clue. I don't think they ever show up in a book.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if that's just like a leftover from Rogue Trader, like the alpha edition of Warhammer. Because a lot of stuff that was canon in the Rogue Trader, like the first edition of Warhammer, is dubiously canon. Like a lot of it got decanonized. Some of it's still canon, but most of it isn't. Um, like I don't know if maybe that's just something that appeared in Rogue Trader and they just kind of never got rid of, but then also never did anything with. I don't know.
Interesting.
If anybody can tell me what the fuck a gray Ogren is, I would appreciate it, or at least tell me like where I can find more information about gray Ogrens. So yeah. Anyways, I'll Venmo you a whole crisp $1 bill if you can tell me. You want to hear my favorite stories about an Ogren?
Sure.
There's a lot of great stories about Ogrens, but there's in one of the books, or like I don't even think it's a book. I think it's just a short story. There is a Tyrannid. I want to say it's a Death Leper, but it might have been a different one. That is going to assassinate a high-ranking official on this planet, and it sees a convoy of vehicles, and it sees an armored vehicle, like a armored troop transport, in the middle of this convoy. So it goes, "Yep, that's where this guy is." So it break so it breaks into the fucking troop transport. And I think in the book they're like, as it broke into the darkness, it heard a dull voice yell, "Purge the unclean," as like six ogrins beat a death leopard to death with a fucking hammers. Thanks for the lurk, Goose.
Mistakes were made that day.
Yeah, no, it just like six ogrins just pinned it down and beat it to death. Oh, fun fact: there were ogrin space marines at one point.
I was gonna ask if that was a thing.
So it's not a thing anymore, but during the Horus Heresy, when shit was getting dark for the Imperium, they started doing emergency space marine surgeries on ogrins, which made really big, really dumb space marines. So yeah.
Were they effective?
I assume they weren't as effective as they could be since they stopped doing it.
But my question is, why'd they stop? Like, was there a reason? Like,
I mean, making a space marine is very hard and very expensive for the Imperium to do. So making and all space marines are inherently very smart because of this. Well, I mean,
ah,
smart in the Warhammer sense, and they're really good at their jobs, like whatever their specific job is. So I would imagine having a space marine who, yes, is a lot stronger than your average space marine and maybe takes a few more shots than your average space marine doesn't really help if it's running headfirst into machine gun fire and just getting shot to shit.
yeah, that does make sense.
Like, I imagine it's just like a tactical issue. Especially, and then you also have the thing. Ogrins can be a little hard to control because they're a little dim-witted and, you know, you've seen a toddler have a temper tantrum, right?
Uh huh.
Okay. Now imagine an Ogrin having a temper tantrum.
Oh God, help us all.
Okay, now imagine a Space Marine Ogrin having a temper tantrum.
Commissar, shoot this man.
The fuck's the Commissar gonna do? His gun ain't doing shit to that. Just gotta throw the Commissar under the bus like that. Execute this man.
We're all gonna die.
Oh man. But yeah, that's Ogrins. Funny little guy, or funny not so little guys. All right. All right, you pick two. I guess I'll pick two.
Sounds good.
So I'm gonna go with the Afral strain, and it's a short one. Homo sapien maledictus. Um, what's up?
Maledictus.
Maledictus.
Okay.
So they're basically super. Through genetic experimentation and fuckery, um, which we don't know a whole lot about from what I could find.
Not in the Warhammer
Not in the
universe.
Warhammer universe, where everything is canon but nothing is true. Um, they collected up a bunch of genetic material from the heroes of the Imperium and basically dumped it into either clones or other humans. I'm not entirely sure about that. To basically try and make Captain America. So it's a super soldier that is better than your average Imperial Guard, but it's not a Space Marine. Like it's nowhere near a Space Marine.
Okay.
Make sense?
So regular dude, but super soldier, Still not as good as a Space Marine, but better than a foot soldier.
Yeah, basically they just collected the genetic code of a bunch of the Imperium's like greatest hits and put it into a soldier.
Okay.
Um, and it worked. I mean, they tended to be faster, stronger, and better on the battlefield than your average Imperial Guard. Um, it also caused them to be kind of albino. Um,
Interesting.
so they would have like alabaster skin, like pale white hair, and colorless eye, like completely colorless eyes. So they'd be like gray.
Huh.
And they were also known for having god awful luck.
Bad luck.
Yeah. Um, they're still around, like in the modern Warhammer setting. They're really rare. Like I don't think they've shown up in a book aside from like maybe getting referenced as something that exists in a long, long while. But I mean, they're still around according to the wiki. They're not like the squats. Oh, speaking of which, I feel like I should have said this at the start of this. Where did I write it down at? Where the fuck did I write this down at? Okay. So, the Imperium recognizes 73 stable abhuman strains of genetic code, 46 of which are extinct. 12 of the remaining, what is that, 73 minus 46 is, 1 second.
You said 73?
Yeah, it's 27. Of those 27, after that, 12 of those are believed to have died out after being assimilated into larger populations. So essentially, because they're humans, when they got reintroduced to the greater Imperium and started reproducing with normal humans again, we started losing the mutations that made those abhumans. So as it stands, there is like 15 ish abhuman strains that are accepted as still being human by the Imperium.
Huh. Neat.
So yeah, fun fact there. My second one, I think I have to pick this one as the like resident furry for this episode. We're gonna talk about the Imperium of Man's what is it? Uh, brain work, please, damn it. The joke it died. Anyways, the Imperium requisitioned cat girls.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, have you heard of the Felinids?
No.
All right. So, Homo sapiens hirsutus.
Was that an F or a P at the start of that word?
HIR.
Okay.
Hirsutus.
Because it almost sounded like you said persetus. And I was like, that's a bad joke.
I wish. Let's see. Na 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 na. So they were native to the world of Carlos McConnell. They're considered a rarity outside their world. Very few of them have ever been seen. And let's see. There are con men who supposedly sell felonid remains, which usually turn out to be human carcasses stitched with animal skin.
That's just gross.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's con man. Um, there was a discussion between a xenologist and a Kroot mercenary at one point where the Kroot described fighting against Felinids and described them as the most brutal opposition and some of the most efficient killers that the entire uh, Astra Militarum had. Um, let's see. Let's see. It is mentioned that Felinids possess claws the length of a human forearm. Um, we really don't know shit about the Felinids. This paragraph that I am reading from in the entirety of Warhammer's like 600 and some books, that paragraph is all that has ever been written about the Felinids.
Oh,
um,
okay.
we know they're humans. We know they have cat-like features. We know they still exist. Um, Games Workshop, if you ever need somebody to write that book, please let me be the person that writes that book. I beg of you. I know I've heard people talk about fucking Games Workshop is just sitting on a gold mine. Because if you look up Felonid art, which officially there is none, the community ranges on Felonids being standard Imperial troopers with cat ears and claws, to the middle ground of just being somebody's fursona. And on the far other end of the cat girl spectrum, horrific abominations.
Good lord.
And it doesn't matter which version of this that they decide is canon and would start making minis of, it would
It
print
would make
fucking money.
money.
Alright?
It would work.
In my personal life, I can name 3 people that play fucking Warhammer 40k, like the tabletop, that would build a Catgirl army. I know a lot of furries who play Warhammer 40k who would love to build a furry army.
Well, maybe.
And I know a lot of people like me who would just really love to have a fucking army of just like half feral fucking cat people as melee units. That would be sick as fuck. POV, you're
Release the
getting
hounds.
POV, you're getting mauled. But yeah, come on.
Claws as long as a forearm would be terrifying.
Exactly. Wait, give me 1 second. I will show you
That
my favorite depiction of the Felinids.
that's a bear, by the way. Like
I know.
claws as long as a forearm. Like that's a big bear.
Big ass. That's a big ass animal. 1 second. There is a artist on Twitter who I absolutely fucking love. They do Warhammer art. They did a picture where I think they did all of the abhumans together for a portrait, and I fucking love this artwork, and I want to see if I can find it real quick. Shit is phenomenal. Please do not let the awkward silence take hold as I search for this thing. Like, I found it.
What?
I found the image. I'm gonna send it to you.
Oh, okay.
Image is being sent.
message has been received.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I fucking love this picture, but that is my favorite depiction of the fucking felonids out of all of them that I've seen.
Uh, you got the little one with a sniper rifle.
You got your Ratling.
You got, I'm assuming the big goofy dude's the Ogren.
Yep.
Then you got Pale. That's the Maledictus, right?
That is not the Maledictus. That is one we haven't covered yet.
Okay. And then I remember hearing, I don't remember what it was, but I remember hearing you going off the list, and I was like, oh, that person probably has like super long legs. I think it was like stalks or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's like a Stealth Strider or something. Stalk
Well, that
Strider, Stealth
there's one
Strider.
of those in there.
Yep.
What's the one with like, is that bat ears?
So I think that's supposed to be a Night Sider. So, just going off the list, you have, I think, real quick, let me give this person, they don't need it, but let me give them a shout out. It is Mosa on Twitter, Mossa. I do want to state they are listed as 18 and up, and they do some not safe for work stuff. So please keep that in mind. If you do not fit into that demographic, one, you shouldn't be watching this video, and two, don't look this person up. I lied about everything. But everybody else, go check them out. But
Who's the one with, who's the one with like devil horns and
it's a Beastman.
okay, cause their their armor is explicit.
Yeah.
Have you did you read all the parts?
Oh, I know what it says. I know.
Okay.
I have seen the other art pieces revolving around that character. So yeah.
Ah,
This person did. This person got the Warhammer community worked up a little bit a month or so back. So we've talked about the Armageddon Steel Legion, right?
yes.
And we've talked about the Death Corps of Krieg, right?
Yes.
So they did a picture of an Armageddon Steel Legion woman and a Death Corps of Krieg woman without their masks on, and the Armageddon Steel Legion girl is kissing the other one's cheek. And everybody thought, oh yeah, that's kind of a wholesome thing. You don't see that very often in Warhammer. And then they did a piece of the girl from that image, the Armageddon Steel Legion one, with an orc standing on her chest, smiling at her. And then another one of him eating parts of her. And then one of a bunch of grots kicking her head like a soccer ball.
It's fucked up.
Yeah, well, it's Warhammer. Um, so yeah, the community got into a little bit of a tizzy because everybody wanted the happy ending, and that just did not happen.
It's Warhammer. Fuck your happy ending.
Exactly. That's like people are like, "Oh my god, a happy ending for once." It's like, nah. But anyways, looking at this artwork, I believe what we have is a Ratling, a Felonid, an Ogren, a Stiltwalker, or Strider, whatever the fuck its name is, 'cause I can't remember right now, a Navigator, a Nightsider, a Beastman, and a Psyker. Until told otherwise, I'm going to assume I'm correct.
For me.
Yeah. I did my two, right?
You No, you need one more. You just happened to mention the furs. I already have forgotten their name, but I assume fur is a good shorthand.
The Felinids? Is that what
The what?
you're talking about? The Felinids? Or
Felonids. There we go.
yeah.
Yeah. That was like an honorable mention, not one that you actually chose.
I mean, I actually really like those ones, but I'll do another one because it is a paragraph.
Yeah, that was why
Oh.
you did that one, is because it was like, you know,
Oh,
short.
even if it wasn't a paragraph, I would have. Like I said, I like the concept of the Felinids. I kind of wish they would make it a thing or more of a thing. Let's go with. I'll pick one off that portrait. I'm gonna coin flip Navigator or Beastman. Uh, call it. Which one's heads?
Beastman's heads.
All right, I'm doing the Beastman.
Yay!
Homo sapien veritas. So they're very bestial abhumans combining the form of animal and human. Ugh. They were formally recruited by the Imperial Guard, where they were valued mainly for the fact that they tended to have a bloodlust. And they would often fight for the Emperor in order to atone for the sin of being born as a mutant.
A little fucky, but okay.
Yeah. They used to be led by a lead beastman called a Packmaster. And, as it stands, you don't see them in the Imperium very much, if ever. I'm trying to think. So, I'm trying to remember how it happened. I can't remember if it was pre heresy. So, it was either during the heresy, a lot of them became tainted by chaos and started working for the chaos gods and Horus. But I can't remember if they started doing that because the Inquisition had convinced the Administratum that they couldn't possibly be abhumans and were actually just mutants, or if it was because of the Horus heresy that the Inquisition was able to convince the Administratum. Um, as it stands right now, the Beastmen are currently under prosecution or persecution by the Adeptus Arbites, which is basically they're like Judge Dredd. They're the Imperial cops. They're the
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you remember the grunts, the not traitor grunts that you would fight in Space Marine 2 whenever the Chaos Space Marine started showing up?
Yes. The grenades and snipers. That's all they had.
No, not those ones. The melee ones.
Oh, those are beastmen.
Those are beastmen. Well, those are beastmen that have been warped by Zinch, but they are beastmen. Fun fact: if you play any of the Total War, or is it Total War or Dawn of War? The Warhammer Fantasy strategy game where you're basically playing a giant game of Risk. The Beastmen are bastards. I I hate them so much. They just randomly spawn and start raiding your fucking houses, and I hate them. That is the one time it's okay to be xenophobic, is if you're playing that game and you're wiping out the Beastmen because they're just assholes.
That's not xenophobia. That's correcting behavior because people are fucks.
That's not correcting behavior. Correcting behavior is if I beat them until they stopped. I beat them till they're not in the game.
That's fair. That's
They're so
very
annoying.
fair.
They're so annoying. And it's always, this is how it always happens. I will be fighting a legitimate war against the dwarves who are also assholes, but for different reasons. Um, and I'll have all of my main forces on the front line fighting the dwarves back. And then a fucking beastman horde will just randomly spawn on the other side of my fucking settlements and start raiding shit. And then I have to get my fucking units from one side of the fucking map back to the other side of the map because now
Otherwise, all your shit gets stolen.
because now I'm no longer producing iron because they took over my fucking mines. Fucking assholes.
I'm sorry to laugh at your pain.
Oh my
I
god, no,
appreciate
I
the
haven't
anger.
played that game in a while, but the beastmen and the ogres and the skaven are annoying as fuck. Uh,
That is hilarious.
yeah. And the dwarves are just assholes because like within the first 5 minutes of the game, at least one of those motherfuckers is declaring war against me.
What'd you do to piss him off?
Fucking existed is what I did. And I'm terribly sorry. No, dude, the first time I ever played Dawn of War. What was it? It was Total War 3. The first time I ever played it, I think I was playing as the Tomb Kings. Or no, I was playing as the Lizard Folk. Um, and I just happened to be near a mountain, and I laid claim to a neutral territory, and this fucking dwarf just walked up to my fucking home castle and he's like, "You have committed crimes against me. Give me these 3 locations or we are going to war." And I'm like, "Motherfucker, I just got here. Who are you? Who are you, and what did I do to spite you?" And then we ended up going to war, and that's when I found out the dwarves in fucking Total War have tanks that are bullshit. I'm out here with fucking it's the fucking Native American experience. I've got bows and spears, and this motherfucker pulls up with a tank and fucking rifles. The hell do I do against that?
I got a sharp stick. You have an Abrams.
What the
The
fuck?
fuck is this?
What kind of bullshit? What I did learn about the dwarves in that game is if they declare war on you super early, they only have one tank, and if you destroy that tank, they cannot get it back until like super late game. So I will sacrifice cities just to destroy this fucking tank. Because once your tank is gone, I can produce grunts so much faster than you can produce rifles.
I
Especially
can
if I'm
build
playing
them faster
Skaven.
than you can kill them.
Exactly. But my favorite is Skaven because it's like, I see your fucking cannons and I raise you penal legions, go. Go, my slave fighters, go. And then they get gunned down, but I get a little bit closer. It's like, yeah, you just killed 50 guys, but it was a penal legion. And now my Rattling Gunner squads are just a little bit closer. I've only got to sacrifice 300 more units before I'm in firing range. You cannot beat me now.
Just the brick wall tactics.
Yeah, dude, I fucking hate playing against the Skaven because they annoy the shit out of me. I love playing the Skaven because they're so fucking annoying. One of my favorites, you get late game Skaven, which is so fucking hard to do because the Skaven are bad. They're just bad. Their morale is dog shit. Their entire strategy is you're supposed to throw penal legions into the meat grinder so your slightly better than penal legion units can do shit.
Slightly better than. Okay.
Yeah. It's basically just I need to feed my guys into the enemy forces until I can get my Rattling Gunners and my Tox cannons up and running at a firing range. And if they get through my forces faster than I can get into firing range, I'm so fucked. It's so over. It's but anyways, late game, I can't remember if you take a specific Skaven leader or if they all get this. You can get a Skaven priest of Nurgle, and what he does is you march him into a fucking city of your choice on the map, and he just kills himself and releases the Black Plague upon the city.
Oh,
That's all he does.
okay.
Yeah. There's that, and then there's the nuclear armaments, which are my favorite. Did I ever tell you the strategy for how I deal with the wood elves in that game when I'm playing as Skaven?
Please tell me it involves burning the woods.
I mean, kind of. So the entire wood elf strategy is they have to keep their sacred tree safe. And as a Skaven, I just do not want that tree to exist anymore out of spite. So the way the Skaven work is they have the unique ability where if you attack a settlement and you win, instead of ransacking it or claiming it as your own, you can build a secret undercity. And so long as your undercity stays relatively unproblematic, they won't find it because it's like it's only occasionally do we kidnap somebody to eat.
Okay.
But if you start making your undercity too big, and it's like, okay, well now like a third of our population has gone missing, and people are claiming that they've seen giant rat people dragging their friends and family into the sewers, we should probably do something about that. This is clearly a Skaven infestation. We need to deal with it now.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Um,
I kind of see where this is going.
yeah. So one of my favorite things to do is you can build the Blight Bomb, which is a fucking nuke. And what it does is after you construct the Blight Bomb, in 10 rounds after the Blight Bomb is discovered or is activated, if it is not discovered by whoever you have built the Blight Bomb under, what happens is that territory becomes uninhabitable for the rest of the game. So my favorite thing to do is as early as I can spec into the Blight Bomb, raid the fucking capital city with the shitty fucking tree in it, and then immediately I would like to declare peace and I will give you like all of these territories. Don't hurt me, please. I'm just a funny little guy. And little do they know, the Blight Bomb has already started being built under their fucking tree.
You evil piece
Just
of
like, sometimes they'll find the Blight Bomb and they're like, you want to talk about that peace tree? And I go, fuck. I'm gonna get my ass beaten. It's so stupid. Anyways, any questions about the Beastmen?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. All right. You want to pick two?
Yeah, sure. What do we got left to choose from?
We have Gland Warriors, Goliaths, Navigators, Nightsiders, Scalies, Slave Levies, Amphies, Drumpane.
Alright, I have my two.
Okay.
Scalies and Ampies.
Scalies and Amphies. So, you're going to be very disappointed by this. For the Amphi, this is all the wiki had to say. Amphi, or Amphi, are an abhuman strain hailing from the world of Lampara. They are known to possess shape-shifting properties. And then I tried looking into Lampra to see if there was any cool information on that, and I was met with, there is currently no text in this page.
Okay, well, that was short lived.
That was very short. That was less than the fucking Pelenids. I'm gonna go to
Well,
the
okay, Scalies it is then.
Scalies. It is then. All right, so the Scalies have a little bit more than that. So it's a mutant strain of abhuman found in the underhive, which is stabilized over time, although there is still a lot of variation, and are not as stable as other abhumans found in the Imperium. So essentially, what that means is you can point at something and go, okay, that's a scaly because it has these traits. But this scaly has four arms, and this scaly has two arms, and this scaly has two tails, and this scaly has night vision, and na 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 na. Get the
Huh.
gist.
Yep.
Have we talked about Underhive?
No.
So, have we ever talked about Necromunda?
No. Maybe?
Okay. Necromunda is an imperial world. It is basically a entire planet that just is a slum. So the Underhive is just the slums. A bunch of crime and shit happens there, and it's dirty.
It's the slums of the slums?
I mean, it is the slums of the planet. It's
Okay.
where all the crime happens.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So scalies are large reptilian-like humans that are only a little bit smaller than an ogren. They are known to they're extremely strong. Again, less so than an ogren. And they also have the ability to regenerate lost limbs. And they have a naturally thick hide that acts as an armor. They are rarely seen, but they are most numerous in the underhives of Necromunda. They're they're like average intelligence, I think. They
Just
don't.
regular.
What was that?
Just regular, nothing like super.
Yeah, like they're regular intelligence, but you wouldn't know it if you were speaking to one. Because due to the mutations, their voice boxes are different, so they struggle to like perform normal human speech.
Okay.
So like average human intelligence, but like they can't talk good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially, that's a like a scientist from Russia who's a super genius trying at
Speaking like
the
super broken English.
yeah, yeah, like at the
Yeah.
age of 50 trying to learn how to speak English.
Yeah, it's like really broken English.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I understand. Okay.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, they tend to just work for the gangs in the underhives of Necromunda. Um, that's about it for any notable things I can say about them. I can talk about their guns.
Let's fucking go then.
So, they tend to use bolt throwers that are referred to as spear guns or scatter cannons. Uh, and sometimes they've been known to use what is essentially a very large blunderbuss.
So wait, they use harpoon guns and shotguns.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, no, because shotguns are just a thing in Warhammer. They use actual, like, it's less of a blunderbuss and more of a cannon.
They just cram a bunch of shit in the barrel and then pull the trigger.
Hmm.
It's the fun fact. You could have shot a fork out of a blunderbuss.
You could. Alright, so the Amphi was really short. Would you like to pick a different one?
What's the long leg people?
Um, I'm trying to remember if that's a stilt limb or if it's a long shank.
I'm gonna just call it stilt limb.
All right, so you lost the coin toss on that one.
Ah, boo. Was
We
I
we
was I
we
wrong?
can we can do both because the stilt limb is also one sentence. Um, so stilt limbs are a human strain of abhuman that first appeared during the Age of Strife. That is all the wiki has to say.
No visible description or anything like that.
No.
What the shit?
Uh,
Okay.
and I did see where it said if I wanted more information that I needed to check the Warhammer Ninth Edition core rulebook. I do not have a Ninth Edition core rulebook, and I couldn't find any free or like anything about the Ninth Edition core rulebook had to say about stilt limbs on the internet.
That's interesting.
I wish I could tell you more.
Well then, continue.
Yeah. Um, if I ever discover more, I'll let you know. But all I have is the 10th edition rulebook,
Hmm.
which guess what? Doesn't say shit. Anyways, so Longshanks it is then.
Longshanks it is then.
So the Longshank, also known as Homo sapien elongatus. Did I have a stroke trying to speak Latin? A little bit. So what it had to say when I looked it up is they're just unnaturally tall abhumans who reside on worlds with low levels of gravity. So in appearance, they tend to be bald with a very pronounced eyes and have unnaturally long legs when compared to baseline humans.
Still
Uh,
makes me question how the Ogrins got tall, but go
I
ahead.
don't know, man. Anyways, the Longshanks serve in a variety of auxiliary regiments of the Imperial Guard, where they tower over others like giants. When heavily armed and armored, they can make an imposing sight, while their long strides allow them to cross difficult terrain at great speeds. However, this lofty height also makes them easy targets for enemy fire. And I'm not gonna lie, I wrote that down word for word from the wiki. That is where the wiki ends.
Seems like abhumans don't get as much love as the Marines.
Well, I mean, some of them do. Look at Ogrins. Everybody knows and loves Ogrins.
Yeah, that's true.
Uh, technically, technically the Cadians aren't abhumans, but Cadians are like the guardsman regiment, and due to their proximity to the warp, they have purple eyes. Like I don't think every, but most natural-born Cadians had that. Unfortunately, Cadia doesn't exist anymore, so that's a gene that will probably go the way of the dinosaurs. Um,
Interesting.
yeah, like felinids do not have a ton of like they have almost nothing. The community loves them. You like if I Google felonid artwork right now, I bet you I get a million results, and only a third of those is porn. I can't. What?
Everybody loves their cat girls.
Go gadget Google. Like let's see what it pulls up. Fucking Warhammer.
I wouldn't be sharing that on your screen right now.
Well, that I don't know if you actually look at my stream, but it is just the Cato Sicarius in the background. That is all they can see. Like it's Cato Sicarius and then us.
It is I, Cato Sicarius.
It's I, Cato Sicarius.
Cato Sicarius.
Should I type fan art or just art?
Fan art is always more fun.
Alright, go to Google. Alright, how many results do we have? We have a bunch. Just an absolute fuck ton. Surprisingly, all of this is fairly safe for work. I am pleasantly surprised.
I got a cat with a monocle firing a bolter.
Nice. I think my favorite is Felonid's expectation versus reality. Expectations, it's a cat boy in a skirt. Reality is it's a horrific monstrosity in an Imperial Guard uniform.
Wait, where do you see that one?
Huh?
Oh, there it is.
You find it? Okay, cool. I gotta send it to
Yeah,
you.
expectation reality. The two things I see are, I'm here to serve, and then I hate my life.
Everything is awful. You know something somebody pointed out to me at one point? Um, you take a cat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cats are like one of, if not the most efficient killing machine in nature.
Yeah, yeah, feline, ambush predator, blah blah blah.
Yeah, and like nobody really thinks about it because like they generally, when you think of a cat, it brings you like a rat or something, like little rodents and stuff. Somebody
Mm-hmm.
pointed out if you took they the efficient their killing ability scales with size. So if you were to take the cat instincts and put that into a human-sized thing, that is something that would actively like try to hunt like T Rexes.
Yeah.
It's just something somebody uh, pointed out to me, and I thought it was interesting.
No, no, I fully agree with that. That would be terrifying.
Yeah, I have also found where um, somebody made fucking the STL files for a 3D printer for Felonid Catgirl minis. I love the Warhammer community.
Oh, there's a sexual fantasy there.
I'm sure there are multiple.
Do you want to get stepped on by a cat girl?
Oh hey,
Come for Warhammer.
I found one of my favorite images of revolving around Felonids. Here's an image that I found on DeviantArt like a couple years ago, back when I still frequented DeviantArt.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
I'm not going to share this image on screen, not because it's like against TOS or anything, because I don't remember the name of the artist, and I'm not going to show it without crediting them, because I have standards.
I can't wait to receive this.
I sent it, so it'll get there when it gets there. Any whoosies. That's my turn to pick two.
I believe so. Yes.
Yippee! Well, probably more than two, because we're kind of getting to the low end of the pool. We haven't talked about the. You know what? Um, I want to grab Gland Warriors and I want to grab Nightsiders, but those are two that we kind of have some stuff on, and that's probably like we're getting to the point where like a lot of these things have like a single line of fucking lore, so I don't want to take ones that actually have stuff with them. So I'm going to grab Gland Warriors and so it's a short one here. We'll do the Lazul. You know what? I'll just go through all the little ones at the end, actually. Let's get the big ones done. So, you ready to learn about Gland Warriors? Hello. Space Control to Major Tom.
Sorry. Had to take a bio break. I
Ah,
thought I had enough time while you were chit chatting.
fair enough, sorry.
Yes. Hit the short ones at the end. Cover the big ones now. And what was it? Lazul? Was that what you said?
Lazul is one of the little ones, so I'll come to that one later.
Oh, okay.
But Gland
I thought
Warriors.
you were Gland Warriors. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Of
Gland
course.
Warriors, Homo sapien oct- Octus glandulae, are a subspecies of, or they're an abhuman that was created to fight Tyranids on, I think specifically it was Forge World. Fuck. Forge World Dantris, but I can't remember if it was Dantris 1, 2, or 3. Anyways. Um, After that, though, they have been created several times after that as they've been required. If I had to describe the Gland Warriors in one sentence, the sentence I would use is genetically augmented, government requisitioned crackhead.
That was a mouthful.
hmm Still one sentence, though.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So
One.
so so hyperactive killing machines that might suck your dick.
Well, not so much that last one. So you know how I said they were designed to fight Tyranids?
Uh-huh.
So what they did was they took a human and they threw in a bunch of extra organs that they thought would enhance combatability. So they gave them increased muscle mass, made them more tolerant to pain, made them immune to a lot of toxins, made them really aggressive. Also causes them to be horribly mentally unstable.
Uh-huh. Yep.
They
Yep.
added a bunch of glands that produce combat stimulants. So their body just naturally produces meth. So yeah, really fucking good at fighting. You know what the problem is? When you have a organ that is designated to at every moment of your life produce a mix of crystal meth, speed, and cocaine, it doesn't do great things to the normal organs.
Yeah, I was about to say that just sounds like the Brompton cocktail of short longevity.
Yeah,
So they pop out the petri dish, and then they got like 6 months to go fuck some shit up before their time runs out, huh?
yeah. I mean, to be fair, they're fighting Tyranids, so they're not gonna hit that 6 month
That's fair.
limit very
That's fair.
often. But yeah, just imagine, imagine you're not a Tyranid. Imagine you're just a random heretic grunt. Right? Can you imagine that?
Usually, but
Okay, well, that's proof that this man's a heretic. Execute him.
okay.
But
You said imagine.
yeah, but you were able to imagine it, so you're basically a traitor. Anyways,
I've been tricked.
I've been deceived.
I've been deceived. He's the heretic, not me.
Anyways, but yeah, no, just imagine you're a random like heretic grunt sitting in your trench, and as you look over with your binoculars, you currently see a guy chewing on his fucking like the nub of his thumb that he has bitten off. You hear a whistle blow, and you just see 100 of these guys running at you with a glaive in one hand and a pistol in the other.
Uh, I would like to rethink my heresy at this moment.
I would like to come back to the Imperium at large. it's,
I surrender.
it's too late.
I don't want to deal with crackhead halberd.
It's too late. We've already requisitioned 100 crackheads.
Jesus.
We've already requisitioned 100 crackheads. If we don't use them now, like they're gonna die out before we can use them again. So,
Well, so you deserve to die just because you thought about heresy. So send in the coke fiend.
anyways, government requisition crackheads deploy.
Oh shit, we forgot to give those parachutes. That'll be
They'll be fine. Half of them die on contact.
fine.
But the other half.
But look, at least they landed on top of the bodies, so
My God.
they did their job.
It's the opposite of the fucking zombies from World War Z, where they're piling on each other to build a ladder. It's just we keep jumping off the fucking mountain until it's a soft enough fall that somebody can land.
It's a little animal that falsely says to like just throw itself
Lemmings.
off a cliff. A lemming.
Lemmings, good old lemmings.
It's a fucking lemming.
Oh, somebody's messaging me. Anyways, so that's the Gland Warriors, and I'm gonna snag the Nightsiders for shits and giggles. Pull up my.
And giggles until someone giggles and shits.
That's never good. So, Nightsiders,
Yeah.
Homo sapien tenebris, is a strain of abhuman found in the Imperium, as all the other ones have been, who have evolved on worlds or parts of planets that are completely shrouded in darkness. Therefore, the name Nightsider.
Okay, so we talking like bat-like features, echolocation, dark vision, things of that nature.
So funny you mentioned echolocation, because that's the first thing that was listed as features.
I'm getting smarter.
They also have better reflexes, which allow them to see in almost total darkness. A big word that I do not know how to pronounce, but I wrote down, that essentially enables them to glow in the dark.
Bioluminescence.
That is not the chemiluminescence is I think what this should be.
Well, bioluminescence is the real one.
Uh-huh.
Like if a creature is bioluminescent, it means
Oh, I
something
know
the
what
body
it
produces.
is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, what was I? They have heightened olfactory and auditory senses, and as a result, they sometimes use. Sometimes they are used in Imperial Guard regiments who are specialized in underground or night ops. Let's see. Their physical attributes, which includes oversized eyes, or sometimes they have no eyes at all, colorless and or transparent skin, and luminous appendages, have made them not particularly loved by the people they serve.
Hmm.
Which, to be fair, that would be terrifying to look at. Like somebody with transparent skin and no eyes.
Yeah, no, that'd be rough.
Alright, so on the big list, we still have navigators, the slave levies, and psychers are also technically a abhuman, but they're not listed here. So what you gonna pick?
What was the list again?
Well, I guess we don't have to go over psychers because we go over psychers regularly. But if we take psychers off the list, that means we have slave levies and the. Oh no, we also have Goliaths and navigators.
I'll do navigators.
All right.
Just
I
gotta
also
pick
want to state.
another short one.
No, navigators are actually pretty big because they're really important. Slave levies also really isn't a specific whatchamacallit, isn't like a specific abhuman. It's just kind of warlords or planet or imperial like leaders who just happen to have a bunch of mutants that they use as slave labor all get piled under the slave levy.
Ah,
Yeah. So I don't know if we actually want to go over that one or not, but anyways. Which one did you say you wanted to do first?
Goliath.
Goliaths. I stole this straight off the wiki, so I'm going to read this one before we continue. Members of the Necromundan House Goliath. These freakishly large, vat-grown warriors can pass as even a space marine in size. They also suffer from a variety of defects, most notably mental imbalances. Same brother. Slow movements and extremely short lifespans. Thus, they are considered by many to be a classifiable strain of abhuman. Um, House Goliath is just a house of, well, it's known as the House of Chains. It's one of the 6 clan houses that make up the hive city of Necromunda.
All right.
Yeah. Um, I mean, as stated, the Goliaths are genetically altered, kind of like clones, made by House Goliath, and generally serve as what would you expect them to serve as? They're the size of a space marine, jacked as fuck, and ill-tempered.
Okay.
I mean, what do you think they use them for?
Storm the line.
Um, more keeping the impoverished of Necromunda in line, but same difference.
Okay.
So yeah. And that leaves navigators, aka Homo Navigo.
Just the naming is so clever.
Listen, Warhammer's a little on the nose sometimes. So they're psychers, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are psychers that started to emerge during the Dark Age of technology. We know they started showing up in the Dark Age of technology. It's speculated that they were artificially engineered during the Dark Age of technology. They have a specific gene that grants them the warp eye, which you know what happens if you were to look into the warp?
The warp looks back.
No, your brain shreds itself because it can't comprehend the warp looking back.
Yes.
Um, they have like a physical third eye on their forehead, called the warp eye, which
Okay.
allows them to safely gaze into the warp.
Oh,
Yeah, they can actually look into the warp.
cool.
They're called navigators because on Imperial ships, warp travel is how they get around, right?
Okay.
The warp is very, very dangerous, as I'm sure you can guess. Not only in the fact that if your Geller field goes down, you just kind of, uh,
Poof.
not even that you poof, it's just all of a sudden, the guy to the left of you has exploded into a puddle of blood that has painted the ceiling walls and you. There are currently demons running amok on the ship. Um, your bones have been liquefied. You're still alive. You don't know how. And the guy next to you has been turned inside out and is speaking in tongues.
Well, let's hope that Gellerfield stays up, guys.
Yeah. there's not there's not much worse than the Gellerfield going down. Have you ever seen Event Horizon?
uh, it's been a while, but yes.
Okay, you know, like whenever they gaze into the Event Horizon, like all the horrible shit that's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fucking warp is just the Event Horizon. I just realized I had a hydrate redeem come in. I'm gonna do that now. My throat is feeling a little dry.
You should give him a double because you missed it.
Okay, I'll give him a double. All right. I have been moistened. So,
Gross.
do you not like the word moistened?
It does. It doesn't bother me, but it's always funny to call it out.
Let's see. I don't know. I think my favorite, significantly worse than saying moist, is my throat's been lubricated.
You damn right it has. How you doing?
That one's infinitely worse.
That one is so much worse.
That is how I got one of my friends to get over his hatred of the word moist. Just instead of saying moist, I just said lubricated.
Ugh.
Anyways, so anyways, because navigators can actually safely look into the warp, they're still affected by if the Geller field goes down. They can look at what things are happening around you in the warp and can adjust as need be. So, like, the way warp travel works, I think we kind of went over this. You know how I said that
Yeah.
warp travel stops working when the Emperor dies?
Uh-huh.
That's because the Emperor is the lighthouse. No matter where you are in the warp, you can see the Emperor's light.
Like literally,
Like,
is
it is a
like a
physical
literal
light.
physical lighthouse.
Yeah, it is the light at the end of the tunnel. So what navigators do is they have to memorize uh, everything in the star system and the warp between where you are and where the Emperor's light is.
Ah. So somebody being able to look into the warp is extremely important.
Yeah, you need somebody. I mean, theoretically, you can hop and go and short hop your way out of the warp. It's extremely dangerous, and your odds of success. Your odds of success of getting out of the warp with a working Geller field and a navigator aren't great. Your odds of doing it without those things are astronomically bad.
It's not zero,
Okay.
but it's
It
also
would be
not
easier to
one.
say not doable.
It's doable. It's happened
We're not
before.
doing that.
Well, I mean, when your options are, okay, I can either my navigator's been killed and I need to get away from enemy forces, I can either A, let my ship be destroyed by the enemy, B, get captured by the enemy, which is probably going to be worse than dying. I can try to short hop my way through the warp and maybe get to safety, or I can short hop my way towards safety and get murdered by demons in the warp. None of those options are great. Which one are you picking?
Yeah.
I guess we're gonna try the short hop.
I'm gonna try to short hop.
Fuck it.
Yeah. So yeah. I don't remember what planet it is, but I think all navigators are born on one planet. There is a like government body that controls how many of them are made. Nobody's sure how they're made. We just know that the collection of navigators that determine this stuff come together, decide how many navigators we're going to get, and that many navigators are given to us. When a navigator starts to get old and their mutations start getting more apparent, and you get to the point where people are starting to think that they might actually be demons, the collection of navigators collect up that navigator, bring them back into the group to never be seen again, and a new navigator comes out, and we don't really know jack shit other than that.
Okay then.
People have suspected that maybe it's some kind of cloning shenanigans. Maybe the reason that navigators get these horrific mutations, aside from the warp eye, is because it's only a specific strain of human that was created back during the Dark Age is able to do this. So they have to rely on inbreeding. There are so many theories about this, and I don't. There's not even one that I can point at and say this is probably it, because they're all equally probably it.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. And I think that's all the mainline ones. Yep. Should we get to the not as large ones?
Yeah.
Alright. So we have Drapanes, who are abhumans hailing from the world of Zetum 4. They are known to have sickle-like heads. Am I giving an image? Am I given an image for that? No. Am I given a description for that? No.
Okay.
We have the Katara, which is a little bit larger than that. So they are a species of abhuman that were encountered during the Great Crusade. Let's see. They developed in the Kenyut system during the Age of Strife. They are tall, sunken-eyed, and extremely thin, but graceful. Their cities spread beneath the ground of their moons and planets in a vast network of tunnels. And while technologically sophisticated, they only use their skills to build cities, ships, and weaponry. Ritual wars and duels were one part of the primary aspects of their culture. primarily used to settle social discourse from art and philosophy toward politics. During the Great Crusade, the Catarans were encountered by the Emperor's children, and after several skirmishes, ultimately chose to have their fate decided by a duel between their champion, Hamaya, and the Astartes commander, Abidaemon. After Abidaemon emerged victorious, the Catarans committed mass suicide.
Oh,
We don't see them anymore. The Lazul, who are an abhuman strain hailing from the world of Garnius Prime, are known to be almost exactly like any other generic Imperial citizen, except they have a distinctive blue skin.
neat.
Mm-hmm. Uh, Neandor. The Neandors, also known as Homo sapiens hyenothus, are a recognized strain of abhuman within the Imperium, and they are restricted to the world of Hatheon 4. Nelendors are a regressed strain of humans which were created due to a lack of oversight by their highborn masters. Primitive, these lowbrow savages serve little purpose other than being used for their physical strength. They have limited language and intellect, but some Imperial commanders have found that their brute strength can be used to free up more quick-witted troops in combat duties. Remember when I talked about the slave levies?
Yes.
Yeah, this is one of the things that falls under the slave levies.
Ah.
We have Pelagers, also known as Homo sapien oceanus. They tend to hail from worlds that are mostly underwater. Pelagers have the ability to breathe almost any liquid and live under pressures which could crush any standard human, as well as they do great in standard pressure. They are possess. They possess iron-hard muscles, gills, scales, and are not dissimilar from an ogren in size. Imperial fish people.
That's the shark one, isn't it?
Probably. Here's a fun one that I'm just gonna throw out here. When I was looking this stuff up, I found the Salathala, which if you click on the Salathala abhuman, you are met with a link that just says there's currently no text. So apparently the Inquisition redacted the fuck out of that one. Let's see. So there are the Thrix, which there's exactly 5 words of description for the Thrix. They possess famously lethal plumage. What does that mean? Well, that means they have feathers, and it means that for some reason those feathers are lethal. I don't know if they're lethal because they're like razor sharp. I don't know if that's lethal because they're poisonous. I don't know what that means. I don't. They sound cool though.
It does sound cool, like ninja peacocks.
Yeah. Everybody. One second. We have Warriors of Thurrock. Warriors of Thurrock are the debased and brutal cousins of the Ogrens. Dwelling in the eastern fringe, they struck a secret arrangement with the Night Lords Primarch Conrad Kurz, sometime before the Horus Heresy. During the Thuramass Crusade, their agreement was enacted, and they were used as shock troops by the Night Lords against the Dark Angels. These are just evil Ogrens.
Oh.
And last, but certain, I'm sorry, there's another one after this. So we have Throths. The Throth, also known as Homo sapien verdantis, are a recognized strain of abhuman within the Imperium. They are restricted to the world of Verdant. According to legends, a tribal king called Nemes once ruled over a people isolated from the rest of humanity. In the time before the Great Crusade, it is said that Nemes swore an oath to protect his world of Verdant if the planet would protect its people. As a result, Nemes descendants, the Throth, share a symbolic relationship with the forest of their homeworld that enables them to converge with their environment and confound invaders. Over many centuries, the Throth had supposedly been transformed into beings with flesh as tough as an oak and a digestive system that can extract nutrients from the earth. Plant people.
Plant people.
Plant people.
It sounded like plant people that could jump into a tree and then use the tree to smack people.
I mean, that would be a dryad.
Is that a thing?
No. Not to my knowledge.
Well, I mean, it sounded like that in the description you were reading.
I mean,
Like they could use the tree.
I don't know. That is all the lore that the wiki would give me on them.
Fair enough.
So here's one that is of note. So you remember how I said that there are only so many stable strains of abhuman that are recognized by the Imperium?
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. We've gone over all of those. This one, which I had never heard of before looking into this stuff, is a stable strain that is not recognized as an abhuman as of this moment. So if somebody's watching this video 5 years down the line and a book has come out changing this, just note, as of this moment, this is true. But these are called the Deeper, which are considered mutants. They are also dwellers of Necromunda. Surprise, surprise. So I am just going to read this off the wiki. They are originally descendants from foolish homesteaders who tried to make a life in the fungal depths of the hive's bottom. Centuries later, that environment changed them so that the Deeper now have hairless, rat-like skulls, skin in the color of pus, black eyes that look like lumen globes, and are both taller and thinner than other mutants. They have since become a stable strain of mutation, but are not classified by the Imperium of being adhumans. So I have heard of I hadn't heard the name before, but I remember a while back, I was talking to somebody, and they had said that in Necromunda, they had introduced something that might become how Games Workshop introduces the Skaven.
You picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah. The only information about these things comes from the Sinner's Bounty novel, which apparently they are referenced in chapter 33 and chapter 35.
And that's it.
And that is it. So, yeah. There you go. There are all of the known and one technically unknown abhuman.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Pardon me one second. I'm just messaging D. Well, now that we've done the abhumans, is there any questions or anything else you would like to talk about?
No, I think that was a got a good chunk of info on this one. I still think Ogrins are my favorite.
Ogrins are
I
great.
just wanna I just wanna hug one.
I don't know if I'd want to hug an ogre. I feel like he'd break my fucking spine.
Well, I mean, hug with stipulations. Like, hey, remember, I'm breakable.
Do not break me. Do do do. So yeah. If that's all, then I suppose we can start looking for a raid target.
Go for it.
Alright, so we have three options. Two are just because it's people I know, and one is because it's somebody doing something Warhammer related.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
So we could raid out to Sergeant Mousy, who is playing 7 Days to Die. We could raid out to Huntsman Gwyn, who is playing Monster Hunter World. Or
I like the name.
we could raid out to Grim Noir, who is playing Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2.
Mm, I will leave that up to you.
Anybody in the chat got a preference? I'm just gonna roll a d4 then.
Go for it.
On a 4 I reroll. Cool.
Who'd we end up with?
We are going to raid out to Grim Noir.
Very cool.
Unless I fuck up their name. Because it's the Grim Noir, and I was just trying to put Grim Noir.
Respect the drip, Karen. I don't know why I said that. I thought it was funny.
I don't know. Did I spell that right? Noire. Alrighty then. Well, until next time, ladies and folks. As per usual, be good people. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Don't do anything I would do. Don't party too hard, and just have a good one. And be nice to the Grim Noir. Give him the good old-fashioned Side 12 greetings. Something, something, something. I, Cato Sicarius.
Hi. Okay, that's the carrots.
Anyways, take care, everybody.